Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order.
Commissioner
May-
Lopez.
Oh, thank you.
Here?
Commissioner Ramirez. Commissioner Zamora is absent. Commissioner Godino, absent. And Chair Carey.
Here,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, public comment. I hear we have some
The approval of
speakers.
the minutes.
Excuse me?
The approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay.
We need a motion to approve the minutes of January 13th.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'm going to call the
Roll
vote.
call for approving the minutes of January 13, 2026. Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
And Chair Carey.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
We do have a public comment from Julie Sines from the Girl Scouts. Julie?
Is there a pen? Can you pass me
What is it?
a pen? I didn't get one this time.
Good afternoon, commissioners and staff. My name is Julie Sines, and I'm here representing our local Girl Scout service unit. I've been a Girl Scout for 30 years, and I grew up attending day camp at Pioneer Park. I earned many of my highest awards, including the Gold Award and the Bronze Cross Life Saving Award right here in Santa Maria. The skills I learned through Girl Scouts, especially at camp, helped me become a confident leader who can speak in rooms like today. Our service unit is a small, volunteer-run nonprofit. We're not a major organization with large funding. We're local troops made up of local families. We don't make a profit. Every dollar goes back into supporting the girls. We design every event to break even so that we can keep our programs affordable for families in town. Pioneer Park has been the home of our Girl Scout day camp for many years. It plays a huge role in why our program works so well. It's central, accessible, and has the facilities we need to run multiple stations. Our camp is entirely girl-led. Older Girl Scouts serve as program aides and run activities themselves, helping younger girls earn badges and develop leadership skills. It also provides parents with an affordable summer option for their kids, something that's incredibly important for working families. Whenever we use Pioneer Park, we make sure to leave it cleaner than we found it. We regularly do community service there, and in other city parks, we take pride in giving back. Until 2024, our service unit had been able to use Pioneer Park at no cost for years. With the fee change, the nonprofit rate is now $500 per day. For a small volunteer group like ours, that amount is simply not sustainable. We are not asking for extensive usage, only 10 to 15 days throughout the year for our programs. And at the current rate, it would wipe out our entire budget. We would have to raise our prices significantly, which would put camp out of reach for many families. In fact, we had to cancel last year's camp because the new fees made it impossible for us to break even. Girl Scouts teaches leadership, community service, confidence, and resilience, skills that benefit not only the girls individually, but the entire community. I am one example of that impact. I respectfully request that this item be included on the agenda for the commission's next meeting so that it can be discussed and considered in more detail. So thank you for your time and listening to our experience. That's it.
Thank you. Next, we have a homeless update.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Carey
Okay.
and Commissioners. We have Ruben Ramirez here with us, who is our Principal Park Service Officer. Recently did a presentation with Madam Mayor and one other council member, as well as a bunch of other city personnel. It is a great reminder of what the Recreation and Parks City Rangers do for our city. This is only one small component of their job. And I had asked Ruben Ramirez to come up and share that similar presentation with you.
Good afternoon, commissioners, city staff, and members of the audience. We're going to do an introduction into homelessness, go over the overview of homelessness issues within the city of Santa Maria, the role of the city rangers in addressing homelessness, and current trends, resources, enforcement, and impacts to the city. So city rangers address homelessness throughout the city, including our parks, landscape right-of-ways, city-owned facilities, and the Santa Maria Riverbed. We've noticed a recent increase in new individuals from Los Angeles, Ventura, and Kern counties. We haven't identified why, but we are seeing a lot of new faces in the community. In the picture that's depicted, that's the 101 Betaravia off-ramp, and you see the new Coast Hills building in the background, and this is what a typical camp looks like. Tents, lots of debris, and a lot of this is trash that's removed from city containers or residential areas. And some folks consider this to be a value, and I mean, to us, it looks like it's waste. Some resources that we provide, our primary objective of the City Rangers is to connect the unhoused individuals with social services. Upon contact, Rangers offer access to nearly 16 different social services. I believe Dennis passed down a paper. We have a notice to vacate on the back side of that, and we'll be talking about that shortly on the next slide. But on the back, there's the 16 resources that we provide, and we do have the on-call services from the Good Samaritan and CityNet. Some of the common challenges that we face are many of the individuals refuse the services despite all the efforts that we provide. Some of the reasons that they cite are a lack of trust in the organizations and personal choice not to accept assistance. So right here we have a body camera video that we recorded in the Santa Maria Riverbed. I could show you about 60 to 70 different videos, but they're all going to be the same here. We contacted this individual who had been living in the riverbed for about 2 weeks, and this is relatively a small camp, which is a tent and just a little bit of debris, and maybe like a makeshift barbecue area to eat and stuff. But go ahead and watch this video, and you're going to get a good eye-opening a view of what we're seeing out there. Do we have volume, Shannon? Let me see if I can restart it. If not, I could give you guys the gist of what's in the video. So in the video, we contact this individual and we ask how long he's been out in the riverbed, and he says for about 2 weeks. Asked him if he's ever accepted any of the resources, and we provided them right there on the spot. And his basic answer is, this is what my life is. I don't want any assistance. I do know that they're out there. I like living out in the riverbed because it's free. I don't have to pay rent. And then he thanked us for our services, but that's basically what the video is, and that's the typical answer that we're hearing from some of the individuals.
We might have audio if we're going to try and play it now.
Okay. Let me back it up real quick, and then I'll try it again. Have you ever taken any of the resources provided, like through
I know.
Good Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not out here because I'm like, I'm out here because I'm just that's where I'm living at,
Yeah.
I'm not like how you saying like looking really for help, or I mean, I can get a job and I know that, but I mean, like I'm kind of like out here because I don't have to pay rent.
Right.
Or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to work, but I know about all those things, so I appreciate it, all the help,
Okay.
Yeah, but
So when resources are denied, city rangers issue a red tag notice, which is what we passed on to you guys. Basically, there's about 10 different municipal codes that we could cite, and those are warnings to say you have 2 hours, 6 hours, up to 24 hours to vacate city property. If we return and property still on site or the individual still in the area, then it could result in a citation, or if the camp is abandoned, then we remove property. And then if anything is of a value, we'll take it to the Santa Maria Police Department to book for safekeeping, or we have a safekeeping C-train at the landfill. For bigger encampments, we have a 72-hour notice to vacate the area. And that's usually for like a large scale encampment that's probably going to take about 2 to 3 truckloads to remove debris. And if compliance does not occur, then enforcement actions may include camping citations, citations for storing personal property on public property, narcotics violations, or you could be arrested for on-view crimes or outstanding warrants. So in this picture right here, we noted this during the meeting with the mayor. A lot of the folks do have a means to pay for rent with the assistance of nonprofits. Some of them have SSI, or some of them have family members that can help support them. But in many cases, a lot of the individuals that we're encountering that are homeless, narcotics are the priority. So in this photo, you have individual bindles wrapped up, and this is common for sales of narcotics. And this is the majority of what we're pulling off some of the individuals that are refusing services. Some annual impacts to the Recreation and Parks Department, and specifically to the city rangers, is vehicle use related to homelessness. We put on about 750 miles per year on city vehicles. Fuel cost is about $12,750. And then we do a lot of shopping cart retrieval. So this past year, we did 725 plus shopping carts for 2025. And the year before that, we did about 800 shopping carts. The cost of labor, ballpark of what the rangers are doing versus what they're supposed to be doing, is about $32,000, almost $33,000. In this picture, this is what a common, this isn't even an encampment. This is just an individual that has 5 shopping carts from 2 different stores, from what I could see. And most of it is things that are taken from dumpsters or, things that are found on the street. Some other costs that we have, this is from the Parks Division. They also assist us with cleanups. For crew labor, it's about $52,000. Landfill fees run us close to $5,000. And then vehicle use for them, including tractor equipment, is about 780 miles per year. Some of the impacts to the parks, these are the crucial ones for us. There's lots of vandalism to the restrooms. We do have graffiti. I won't blame the graffiti totally on the unhoused, because we do have some of the other type of graffiti with tagging crews or gang related. Warming fires are in the restrooms. We've had about 3 restrooms burned down and have to be rebuilt in the last 5 years. We do find drug paraphernalia in there, overnight camping, unsanitary conditions, and other illegal acts. The extra maintenance is estimated to be over $200,000 per year. And the impacts are basically we have to lock up our restrooms 4 days a week to prevent further damage. So right now, restrooms are locked Monday through Thursday, and they're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to allow access to our park patrons. In these pictures, you're going to see door jams where the plates are removed. So when the rangers go lock up parks at night, there's absolutely no way to do it, and it has to be left open until we could get it serviced the next day. You have a photograph of somebody that was camping inside the restrooms. You're not going to be able to see greatly, but there's luggage, there's debris, and there's other paraphernalias inside of there. Patrol operations for the rangers. Rangers are patrolling the Santa Maria Riverbed 7 days a week, 2 times a day. Wednesdays, when we have full staff, we do man a 2-man ATV patrol unit. And our patrol responsibilities include identifying encampments in the riverbed and in the city, and removing shopping carts, and coordinating encampment cleanups with the Santa Maria Police Department CSU unit or the 2M contractor, as well as our parks crews. And one thing that I'd like to note that we noted with Mayor Patino is the Santa Maria Police Department's Community Services Unit has done an outstanding job in the last 2 years identifying encampments, and they're out cleaning weekly. And it's allowed us to focus more on the park system and be able to go back to the scope of what our duty is. So big kudos to them. Any questions for me regarding the parks?
Go ahead. Thank you for the presentation, definitely eye-opening. Question for you. So how do you find them or provide them with a citation if they relocate from one area to the other? Do you know that they were the same people you gave a warning to in the first place? Do they provide you with an ID? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, so generally it's just like any other contact for us. So when we do make a contact, it goes out on the radio and we ask for identification. If identification is not provided, then we verbally ID. Most of our rangers have been with the department for about 5 to 10 years, and even one of our officers is 19 years veteran. So we have a good rapport with a lot of the individuals that we contact, so we know where they're at or where they're going to relocate. When we fill out that form right there, they get the top copy, and then we get the bottom copy, and that goes back to the ranger office. And then the next ranger that's on duty or a follow-up ranger will go back to that location. If the individual's not there, then mission accomplished, they moved on. and then we, go on another day and go to the next avenue.
Okay, and as far as like the supermarkets and stores, don't they get fined for having their carts, I guess, moved away from the premises?
You want
Nice.
to touch on that, Dennis, or you want me to?
Thank you, Commissioner Lopez. The city does have an ordinance. We have just been revisiting that ordinance. It's about who owns it and who's going to follow with. So the rangers have done a great job picking up those carts with their trucks. The program belongs to Code Compliance, who doesn't have trucks. So we're working on a system to where they could possibly check out some of our parks trucks or some part of our fleet to enable them to go pick up those shopping carts as needed. We're also looking working with our Community Development Director, Shannon Dow, to revamp that ordinance and to make it a little stronger. Currently, and again, this is off of memory, so bear with me, but a store would have to have 3 shopping carts picked up within 24 hours. And the fine is substantial, it's up to $1,000. But we're looking at adding some additional ways that we can keep those extra carts off the streets. We have some really great stores in Santa Maria who work really hard, and they police their parking lots on a regular basis. It's not very often you see a Costco shopping cart outside of the Costco parking lot because they're constantly out there picking up those carts. But we do have multiple stores that don't do that, and those are the carts that we're finding over and over again. And they don't want their carts back once they're found, so we end up storing them. So we're looking at ways to charge storage fees and those kind of things to help alleviate this problem. They see
don't
these
want their
carts filled with these mounds. Most grocery stores don't have a way to clean or sanitize their grocery carts, so they're not interested in getting them back. It's a cost to them, but it's less expensive than the alternative at this point.
I think the faster that we bring up that ordinance and stores getting fined, it'll make it a lot easier for the rangers. I think they have better things to do than picking up carts, in my opinion. So they go to all that training to become rangers, and so something along that line. So definitely work with Shannon. You said, is it you have to work with her, or Public Works have to work with her? 'Cause
The Rangers are currently the primary group that is picking up the carts. We do have some other staff in our department that will help especially if it's an issue. We have seen a reduction over the past couple of years with the ordinance that came out, but we do need to be stronger with that, and we're all very aware of that and are working towards getting that ordinance revised.
And as far as dollar amount, did I see that 7-day 2 rangers at a time cost about $32,000? Is that what you meant?
That was more for man hours to go and pick up shopping carts. So we do have an agreement that we're working on with Santa Barbara County for patrol services out in the riverbed, where they're assisting with paying a portion of a ranger's salary. So we've already established steps with that with Assistant City Manager Chung Woo.
Okay. Well, what about San Luis Obispo County when you patrol the riverbed? Do they help with your salary as well?
So that's also what Chun's working on right now. So
Okay.
hopefully we could get that up to speed.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any more?
With the gentleman, you said that he was 2 weeks out there, and he hides when you guys go on the ATVs, if you guys are going out there once, or how do they keep from being seen when they're out there?
So most of them it's wide open out there. Some of the encampments have perimeters, and you'd be amazed if you've seen some of these. When we talked to the mayor about this, fences that are taken from the parks or poles from the levee trail, those are all utilized to set up perimeters using the foliage out in the riverbed or using blue tarps to kind of set up their perimeter. But some of them are hiding and some of them are not. They know we're coming, and like I said, we established a pretty good rapport with them. And it's usually like a Band-Aid effect where we move them on for, 5 to 20 feet, and then, the next contact, they may move out 30, 40 yards past where we're at. So every day it's a challenge, and when we do contact them, it's the same person that we contacted a week prior, but, 2 weeks later at a different location.
Commissioner Ramirez, I also want to note that sometimes there's a safety issue, and Ruben can attest to this, almost falling through a very large hole. They have dug underground. I've seen the pictures. They will build little bunkers. And so if one of our rangers is ever in a situation that they don't feel safe, the direction is don't do it, is to get the support that they need in order to enforce. But I also don't want them in an unsafe situation. So sometimes you may see a camp out there a little bit longer than normal, and that may be the reason why. The city is undergoing training for a lot of our staff who are dealing with these kind of issues, because they're facing bloodborne pathogens, they're facing drug paraphernalia, and it can be a dangerous situation. I was explaining to the mayor, yes, they're getting the proper protective equipment. The gloves alone for one pair is $50. That would prevent them from being stuck by a needle. So we're in the works. We're working on trainings and policies and continuing to make sure our staff are safe. But if you do see that, we really don't want the rangers at that kind of risk. So sometimes they don't move as quick. They appear not to move as quick, but behind the scenes, we're working to make sure that they get cleaned up. I also would like to add that, between the rangers, PD, and code compliance, our city looks pretty good. I know you all three travel and have been around. These guys do an amazing job keeping our city looking good. Yes, we still have a problem, and they're going to continue to work on that. But with the constant efforts of all three divisions, they really are working hard to make sure that they're safe and our community is safe, while still trying to provide resources to these individuals. So, thank you.
Also, with these people that are coming in from other counties, are we reaching out to those other counties, or are we trying to find out what's going on over there?
As of right now, we haven't reached out to anybody, but we notice trends and everything. So we also mentioned that the Olympics is coming to LA County, and there might be a cleanup effort within the surrounding LA area. So it's very possible that people may relocate to Santa Maria. When we do talk to some of the folks from different counties, they've received bus vouchers. And then part of the other issue that we also identified along with the police department is now that the Northern Branch Jail is in Santa Maria, folks that are from the Santa Barbara area are being released in Santa Maria, and we're not certain if they're getting the same bus tokens back to Santa Barbara area. So it could be a variety of reasons.
Thank you, Officer Ramirez.
All right, thank you guys. And then I just wanted to extend an invite if you guys ever want to come out to a ride along with one of our rangers. We have 3 of them that are here right now, and then I'd be more than happy to take you guys out as well. So thank you for your time and support.
Thank you so much. Okay, regular business, we're going to go over A and B since they're not here.
Well, he's here.
Well,
Can he take over?
no, actually,
Yeah, Chair Kerry, at this time, we would postpone the seating of the Commission Chair Godino and Vice Chair Ramirez, and having not heard from her today, we will just postpone it to the next meeting, including the
April.
appointment to committees.
Yeah. Okay. So next on the agenda is the recommendation to City Council to place Alex Posada on the eligibility list for future park and facility naming. The plan is to recommend that the council put him on there, and sooner rather than later. Usually it's, not so soon after somebody would retire.
Well, Commissioner Kerry, thank you very much. Yes, typically it's, we've done a lot of this posthumously, and we don't want to wait.
Yeah.
So, Director Posada was with us for 47 years, and just really made the department what it is today. You guys have all heard his spiel and been down this road, so the staff is recommending that we move forward by providing council with the recommendation to add Alex Posada for future naming of a facility. And so the city's policy and procedure is that council is the only one that can actually name an entire park. While commission retains the right to name components of the park internally, the naming of the entire park belongs to council at large. So currently was only one name on the list, and we will be removing that person. It is Jim Glines. Jim was recently recognized on the Miller Street, on the south side Miller Street, west, yes. So that his name will be officially removed from that list, which will leave the list vacant. Also, we have some great opportunities in the real near future that the Posada name will have a very large impact on the community, and we think it's a good time to add his name to that list. So when those opportunities come about, there's really no hesitation to move forward with the naming of a park. At this point, it would be a recommendation from you, and then we'll move it to council for final approval.
Do we read that resolution, or that's until it becomes?
Actually, we need a motion.
Do we read the resolution first, or motion?
Yeah, we can read the resolution.
Okay.
Would you like to?
Please, Madam Chair.
A resolution of the Recreation and Parks Commission of the City of Santa Maria, California, recommending that Alex Posada, be placed on the city's eligibility resource list for future park, trail, and facility naming consideration. Whereas the City of Santa Maria maintains an eligibility resource list of individuals whose contributions to the Santa Maria Valley may merit consideration for future naming of city parks, facility, trails, and other recreational assets. And whereas the city's established facility naming criteria provide that individuals considered for such recognition should demonstrate meaningful contributions in one or more of the following areas: leadership in community affairs, community volunteerism, role model mentor of others, for others, and/or community enrichment. And whereas the Recreation and Parks Commission is authorized to receive community input and make recommendations to the City Council regarding individuals for inclusion on the eligibility/resource list. And whereas Alex Posada has demonstrated sustained leadership and service benefiting the Santa Maria community. And whereas the Recreation and Parks Commission is authorized to receive community input and make recommendations to the City Council regarding individuals for inclusion on the eligibility resource list. And whereas, based on staff review and application of the city's naming criteria, Mr. Posada meets multiple categories for nomination, including leadership in community affairs, community volunteerism, service as a role model, and mentor and contributions to community enrichment. And whereas the recommendation before the commission does not request naming of a specific park, facility, or trail this time, but instead seeks inclusion of Mr. Posada on the city's eligibility resource list for potential future consideration consistent with the city's established process. And whereas there is no fiscal impact associated with adding an individual to the eligibility resource list, and any future naming action would be evaluated separately at the time of consideration. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved by the Recreation and Parks Commission of the City of Santa Maria, California, as follows. Hereby recommends that the city consider that Alex Posada name shall be added to the resource list from which city facilities are named. So we got
I
to,
make a motion to place Alex Posada on the eligibility list for future park and facility naming to be recommended to City Council.
Second.
thank you.
A roll call vote. Chair, Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
And Chair Carey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Carey. Alex, if you're watching, ignore that part. It's a surprise.
Thank you. I'm excited for this. Okay, so I'm assuming we're going to not assign and reassign our committees. And next, we will be canceling the commission. We don't need a motion for that, do we? To cancel the meeting since,
Yeah, I believe we do.
okay,
Roll call vote, yeah.
call for the, please.
I make a motion to cancel next month's meeting.
I second.
Okay, Commissioner Ramirez.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez
Yes.
and Chair Carey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next are staff reports.
Thank you, Chair Carey, Commissioners.
They're not on here.
We will start today with Interim Recreation Supervisor Rudy Gutierrez. He'll present just a couple of items for you, and then we'll go into budget with Neville.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, and community and staff. It's always a privilege to go and give a Recreation Division update. I wanted to share the Able Maldonado Community Youth Center recently had a breakfast and big ideas program over at the Able Maldonado Community Youth Center on, I think it was January 31st. It was a teen-led enrichment event organized by the Teen Leadership Group from the Able Maldonado Youth Center, as well as the Full Steam Ahead. They had 35 local junior high and high school students, which were focused on career exploration, creativity, and connection. The unique part of it was the partnerships that were made through our awesome team with Jeanette, Recreation Supervisor, Barbara Wiley, and the whole Youth Center team. They were able to bring in 6 local professionals, several of them from the City of Santa Maria Rec and Parks Department, as well as our Utilities Department, County of Santa Barbara Public Works, and Harris Construction, who volunteered their time to engage with the teens. It was really a unique event where we were able to bring the teens together. And it just shows all the great work that our teen programs are doing, and all the staff, like Jeanette, Alex, Barbara, the whole Youth Center team over there at the Maldonado Center are doing to create unique opportunities for the teens to come together, and kind of give them some opportunities looking forward. I'm extremely happy to announce that our Rec Ready Cohort 3 is actually in the works, and we actually have the 3 selections that we have of Rec Ready mentees. The Rec Ready Mentorship Program, it's a collaboration with Allen Hancock College, which is a community partner, and it's a 12-week initiative that connects college students pursuing careers in rec and parks and related fields with experienced rec and parks professionals. Alexandra Ramirez, she's a sophomore at Allen Hancock College, majoring in entertainment and recreation management. And her mentor is Interim Supervisor Jeanette Blanco from the Able Maldonado Youth Center and Teens section. We have Dalia Valdivinos, who's an Allen Hancock College student as well. She's majoring in child development with a strong passion for youth programs, community engagement, and her mentor is Rec Tech, Jody Klug from the Outdoor Recreation and Adult section, and Johanna Diaz, who is here, and Dahlia is here too. Dahlia too, Allen Hancock College student, and she's participating in the Rec Ready Mentorship Program to gain practical experience in rec, parks, and community services. And her mentor is Supervisor Stephanie Cecito and Activity Specialist Eva Garza from the Machado and Special Events section. The Rec Ready program, it's a really unique opportunity for us to be able to expose Allen Hancock students that are in the rec and parks field that are interested in that field. As you know, Allen Hancock College has their rec program that they do with Dr. Provencio, who we've created a really good partnership with. So this is just one of those opportunities that, I believe Stephanie Cecito, Recreation Supervisor, as well as Jeanette Blanco, who's out there. This was kind of their brainchild to be able to find a pipeline for us for the next generation of Rec and Park staff, and to, create this cool opportunity for the students. And Johanna and Dahlia, if you want to stand real quick, could you stand, please? Just to recognize them. So. And the other unique part about the Rec Ready is they'll all have a capstone project that they'll do and create over this 12 weeks. And it creates an opportunity to have a new program for us and kind of bring some of their ideas to the forefront for us, as well as putting those to use for the community. I did want to give you a quick update. Los Flores Ranch Park, we have an update of our days of use. We made a shift from, typically we're open Thursday through Sunday. We made a shift to Friday to Sunday temporarily, as we look at some different options to kind of expand the use for us. That came from taking a really hard look at those Thursdays and our trail users and the use that we were getting. We would get on a Thursday maybe 5 to 6 people that would come out. And when you kind of took a look at that, as well as along with the staff time and the staff reductions that we're looking to make just to meet the goals of the department and the city, we kind of reduced that down now temporarily from Friday to Sunday. Right now it's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In the spring, summer, when time changes, we'll shift over Friday to Sunday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. But we are exploring options to actually expand Los Flores Ranch Park use. We're not going to keep it limited, but we'll be presenting something hopefully soon as far as the options that we're looking at. And I wanted to share something for this weekend. It's Cupid's Pajama Breakfast Bash. So you could come and help support our local seniors over at the Elm & Muscle Senior Center. I know Evelyn, and they're doing a great job of putting this event together. We'll be serving pancakes to the seniors. Shameless plug, my Kiwanis Club, Santa Maria Noontime, will be serving the breakfast. So I'll be over there at 6:30 a.m. It's a unique opportunity, a unique event to meet the seniors and hang out with them. The whole senior program staff, whether it's Evelyn, Jody, everybody over there at the Muscle Community Center does a great job of creating these fun programs for the seniors to get up early or whatever it is, do yoga, you name it. They're doing all kinds of fun stuff and keeping them active. So I appreciate all their hard work, and if you want to kick off your Valentine's morning, you're welcome to join us. And the rec guide. So I shared a rec guide with each of you. That's the color version, but we also have it.
Nice.
Get everybody good.
There we go. So we also have the digital version, which is available in Spanish and English. On the back of the rec guide as well is the QR code that you can scan, and then it goes to the English and Spanish version. Everybody out there in the community and watching, you can go online to cityofsantamaria.org, and you can find our link to it. But it's just got tons of great programs and activities. There's all of you. Facility rentals, all of our great facilities and parks that we have, community events, like I mentioned, the Pajama Breakfast Bash, Cupid's Second Shot, the date night at the plaza, and I shared the flyer up there with you as well. Our family dance, which I also shared a flyer of. That's a different spin on the father-daughter dance that our team has put together to really bring all the families together.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's just an amazing job that Chris, our graphics technician, did in creating this. He kind of revamped it from what it used to look like, and I mean, he just does an amazing job to make it really user-friendly. He's coming up with new ideas and keeping it fresh as far as the look and the graphics. So, kudos to him for doing such an amazing job on putting it together. I highly recommend if you want to go through that, or as well as take a look at it online. And then that's all I have for today. Can we open up any questions?
Any questions? This is beautiful. It just makes people want to look at it.
It is. It
I love
makes you want to open it up and check it out. Yeah.
Like and the photos even.
Yeah, Chris did a great job, and also Karen, our marketing team, she's just been putting it out on social media and blasting it. And,
Good.
And they do an amazing job.
These must cost a lot, though. I mean, this is like just.
We did a small batch of the color,
I know.
and then a black and white version as well, Spanish version. Really pushing the side of the digital version. Nowadays, everybody's on their phones and tablets and whatnot, so really pushing that. But it is nice to be able to see the color version because it just pops out.
Thank you, Rudy. Neville.
Thank you, Chair Carey. We'll go to Neville to get us up to date on our budget and what we're facing for this next year.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for having me today. So today I will be sharing some updates. I promised you at our January meeting that following a very important City Council meeting on January 20th, I would come back with a summary of some things that occurred at that meeting that affect our department now and potentially or realistically in the future as well. And I will go through the presentation and then be available for questions at the end. So the first slide is showing what our approved budget was in June 2025 for this next fiscal year. And at the January 20th meeting at City Council, there was a recommendation to have the Rec and Parks Department budget cut by a little over $1 million. This is specific to the general fund and the Measure U fund. Where we are today with the updated budget information, we're at about just under 40% of usage at 58% of the year. As you'll see later in some later slides, a lot of it is due to positions that we're holding vacant, that even after positions that were deleted at the January 20th meeting, we're still continuing to hold positions vacant, and that contributes largely to a lower usage of our budget through January 31st. One of the things I do want to highlight is that at the conclusion or following the January 20th City Council meeting, most departments in the city were given some instructions on additional reductions, budget reductions that are going to be required to help fix the budget deficit, which has been hovering around $25 million. So let's call it phase one in January 20th, helped cut into that $25 million deficit. Specifically, this is the general fund and Measure U deficit. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. And so our department received instructions on what we need to come up with over the next 12 months, over the next fiscal year, the 26-27 fiscal year. Approximately another little over $2 million that we're going to have to, or that we're being asked to cut from our current budget. So if you look at, going back now, our current budget is around $15 million, general fund and Measure U. Another $2 million is what we're being asked to cut in this next phase of budget reductions. And so where are we going to be pulling that from? It's going to be a mixture of some things. This is a summary of how our $15.7 million is broken out. 67% of our budget is salaries and benefits, our staff. and then $4 million supplies and services, some operational expenses, which covers things like fleet and radio expenses and communication and utilities. And so that's where a lot of the $2 million comes in, and then a tiny bit of one-time capital equipment money. And so when we, as the management team, are going to be going over this $15.7 million and where we can come up with the next $2 million in reductions over the next fiscal year. You'll recall I shared this slide at our January meeting, all these positions that we had vacant and on hold, and I shared with you that they're mostly on hold because we're being asked to have some of these positions, vacant positions, eliminated to help with that deficit. And I showed you on a previous slide how positions that we eliminated valued about $1 million. And so these are the positions that were eliminated. There were 7 full-time and part-time positions that were eliminated at the January 20th meeting that City Council approved to delete. And then an additional 30,000 hours of limited service time. So that's going to be 30,000 hours worth of lifeguards or aquatic staff, your recreation leaders, your building attendants. Those are positions that are limited to 1,000 hours a year and are not benefited. So this was the bulk, in fact, pretty much about 99% of that little over $1 million you saw in a previous slide that we cut on January 20th with these positions. So that big list that I had, this is what we have left. And as you can see, except for the interim director, they're all still on hold, pending further discussions and further strategizing on how best to work with that $2 million we're needing to address, plus looking at the operation as a whole, looking at what positions we just absolutely must fill versus ones that we can potentially continue to hold open. I think it's important, and I'm going to discuss the 7 full-time and part-time positions that were deleted, because I think it's important for the commission to be aware of what impact these are going to have. I'm not going to read it word for word, because you do have the handouts with you. But this teen outreach coordinator position, having this position deleted, reduces the ability to coordinate early intervention and prevention services for our at-risk youth, shifting us from a proactive model toward a more reactive one with potential long-term impacts to community safety and youth outcomes. This is the recreation supervisor position that was, or is, or I suppose was now, assigned to supervise the Abel Maldonado Community Youth Center. And deleting this position reduces leadership and strategic oversight at this key youth facility, which will impact program quality, responsiveness to youth needs, and our ability to maintain consistent, safe, and well-coordinated services for our youth and our teens. We also had 2 positions, 2 recreation coordinator positions. These are frontline supervisor positions that were eliminated as part of that $1 million cut. And the deletion of these positions is reducing our capacity to deliver large-scale recreation programs and community events, which may impact program quality, safety oversight, and access to affordable or no-cost recreation opportunities for residents. We also had a program specialist position cut. These program specialists are critical for running our amazing recreation programs. And having lost this position is reducing our ability to coordinate programs, support community partnerships, maintain responsive recreation services, which will impact program availability, quality, and access for our residents. One of our city ranger vacancies was eliminated. And this deletion of the city ranger position is going to reduce our proactivity in safety presence in parks and is going to increase reliance on more reactive responses versus being proactive, which is going to impact park safety, public confidence, and overall use and safety of our recreation spaces. Another position that was eliminated was a part-time laborer position. And this is going to reduce our ability to maintain facilities proactively, which will impact safety, repair response times, and overall quality of parks and recreation spaces that the residents rely on. And I talked about the 30,000 hours worth of limited service positions. So as I shared previously, each limited service position is budgeted at about 1,000 hours for the year. So we lost what would be the equivalent of 30 times 1,000 hours. And with this reduction, it's going to reduce the operational needs to run programs and facilities, resulting in fewer offerings, reduced hours, and decreased access to recreation and aquatic services for residents. And so the overall message I would like to share with this commission and all those listening, that these reductions reduce the systems that help keep our communities safe, engaged, and supported. And with these reductions and future reductions, over time, this will shift us from prevention to reaction, which can have long-term impacts on public safety, youth outcomes, and quality of life for our residents. And on that note, we had 5 new hires in January. One of them you've already met today, Johanna. We also had 4 others, limited service employees that are going to be a mix of building attendants, and I think we have a scorekeeper in there as well, who are going to continue to help run some of our facilities and sports programs, and then, of course, with Johanna being part of the Rec Ready program. And that is all I have. Opening it up to questions.
Neville, I have a question for you. I like that you basically wrote for each position that was deleted, the effect that's going to have on the city. Did you cover this with City Council before they made the recommendation to reduce it by budget by $1 million?
Thank you for your question. So all of the positions that were discussed that have been vacant, that we've been holding vacant for a while, all the impacts and ramifications were discussed with Finance Director, Human Resources Director, the City Manager, and the City Council gets briefed by the City Manager, and so yeah, all that would have been shared with them, should have been shared with them.
If it was up to you, if it was your decision, where would the budget cut come from? If it's not from these?
Me,
Yes.
Neville Smeda?
Yes.
Let me jump in here real quick, Commissioner Lopez.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for a great question. It is going to take teamwork to develop the solution to this. We talk about budget reductions. The alternative we have is also looking at our revenue sources to help offset some of that. We cannot come up with $2 million extra in revenue. It's just would be impossible for us at this point. So we are going to look at continuing to work on our revenue, and again, the commission helped come up with that new fee scale. So we'll be looking at all of our programs. The city is currently under what here at Rec and Parks we just did about a year ago, which is our revenue cost survey. We're back under it again with some new updated numbers, and we'll be able to look at really what the cost of things are. As you know, the general fund is subsidizing about 89%. And that's on the low end of many of our programs. It can be closer to 90, 95, and up to 100%. So we're having to look at all those expenses. We're looking at parks and facilities. We're looking at programs and activities. And we'll take this entire staff here that's here with us today, Angela, Neville, and I, and really going to have to look at what our core areas are for recreation and parks. There are areas that I've said before that we are one person away from losing whole program areas. Currently, we are thankful and appreciate all the extra work and hard work that our staff do. We don't have a senior program specialist right now, and hopefully you haven't noticed. Is this sustainable long term? No. It would be impossible to continue the programs and operations that we have at a reduced staff. $2 million is devastating in this next year. It will be a very hard challenge, and I know Neville will say, get rid of Dennis. That's part of it.
I was going to say the commission.
Yeah, but
We're your least.
yeah,
your
you are
worst.
the least. But
$50.
But it will also take the budget committee to come in and really evaluate the work that we're doing. Talk to your constituents, talk to your council members, because you can see where we're at. It is that time, and we've been prepping for about a year about this. And when they took that $1 million, it was a lot of staff. Now they're asking for $2 million, and that is going to be a challenge to maintain the services and staff we have now at that level for any duration.
So you don't have to answer it, but you need to come up with a plan for city council, a recommendation from the Recreation Parks Department of where you think the budget cuts should come from, because that's not an option, correct? You do need.
Correct.
Yeah, it's the direction we've been given.
Yes.
We have to come up with an extra.
So if you
just
feel
over
very
$2 million.
important, how long have these positions been vacant for?
So it's a mixture. The ones that were deleted, some of them, well, let me go back to the list, but ranging from 1 to 2 years, some of them. But for example, we currently have the Parks Operations Manager vacant. That's been vacant since April 2024. And so, but then we also just lost our program specialist from the senior center a month ago or 6 weeks ago. So
You
it
lost
ranges.
them by choice, or you?
Yeah, so it
Because-
ranges on the vacancy, how long they've been vacant for.
Okay. And have you seen the effects of this in the last 2 years?
Yes. As interim director, Smitherman said, we are one person away from cutting amazing programs that we are currently able to provide. And the staff are taking on that additional responsibility, and they do it because they care and they love what they do and they love the community. But we're still that close from losing programs.
Thank you.
Jose? I just have a question. How is this going to affect the pool program? The hours, is it going to be?
Yeah,
a
we're
huge
looking at
issue?
all of our program areas, all of our
Yeah.
parks, all of our facilities, and really working hard to make sure that we're using the taxpayer dollars to the best of their ability. You will see cuts. You can't have a $2 million reduction without seeing cuts in program areas. Every program area will be hit at some level at that. That's a good portion of our budget in $3 million over 2 years. There probably won't be anything that's not touched at some level. We will have the opportunity to share with council exactly the areas that will be hit the hardest and what those ramifications on our residents will be. But yes, again, we're not going to see any area that doesn't notice some reduction in service. And again, just to reiterate what Neville said, our industry in recreation and parks tend to be very altruistic and do things out of the goodness of their heart. There's many here in this audience that we've had to remind to take a lunch, and they go above and beyond. And the minute I say, hey, we're going to have to slow down or reduce, they get mad. So we're, again, working. They've all worked very hard through this. It will be something we get through. Here at Rec and Parks, we have an amazing resilience, and we're thankful to our commission for all the support, for our council for all the support, and again, for the community who really steps up when needed. So we're continuing to work with our partners, expand our partnerships so our residents don't feel the hit as hard, but again, with a reduction of that size, and again, possibly in the future, we're going to see those impacts. So we encourage you to talk to your council members and your constituents and look at the core services that Rec and Parks was designed to offer, and some of those extras may need to go away for right now.
Thank you, Neville.
Hi, Chair Kerry. I am going to present on parks today as well. Just a quick update on parks. If you haven't been by the Japanese Community Center, it looks amazing. We have a couple more things on the inside that we're working on. The lights, we have some new lights being installed to help brighten that main room. And then some kick plates on the doors to provide good ADA access. And other than that, and the decorating part, we are pretty close to being open. We do anticipate at this point, most likely April. I hesitate to say that. I should say spring grand opening. So if you've driven by, you'll notice that they're doing all the planting right now. They've done great work out there. It's starting to really come together. The concrete work has been laid. And again, if you're ever interested in another tour, please let me know. The sports park is moving right along as well. If you've driven by, they've moved so much dirt, but right now they've really got all the irrigation ready to be installed and moving in. We're hoping this rain that we see in these next couple of days doesn't have too much of an impact. We did have an impact from the last storm we had, pushed them out a couple of weeks, but they are moving right along, and we do hope for that early spring 2027 grand opening, trying to keep it as vague as possible. And then the dog park, we had a setback on our behalf, and so we're getting the contractor all lined up to get those amenities installed. We have a lot of fun activities for dogs out there and trying to make it comfortable for their owners as well. So we are pushing that back a little bit, but we're still looking springtime as well for that grand opening. That's my parks update. For the department update, really Neville was our highlight today. So thanks, Neville. I know it's not always easy to report, but it's important to report so you know exactly where we're at. If you have those questions, if you get questions from the constituents, the residents, please reach out to Neville or I. We're always happy to answer those questions to the best of our ability to make sure that you have the most current information possible. We will be pulling the budget committee together not only to work on our budget, but also to talk about our fees. With our new fee structure, we will really need to go back and sit at that table and really look at all of our programs, parks, facilities, and everything we offer to make sure that we're in line with the council-approved fee structure. Speaking of fee structure, in June of last year, the council approved the commission to set fees. I believe we talked a little bit about this before. So there is an amendment that is a council responsibility. So I did have to rework that amendment. So I amended the amendment. Commission will still be responsible for listening to the public as regards to any new fees. Or any updating of fees, and commission will hold the public hearings and go through that route, but it is still going to be ultimately up to council to approve that. So again, I amended the amendment. We're hoping to have that on the March 5th council meeting agenda. With that, if we get it on the March 5th council meeting, it will take a second reading. So that will be the second meeting in March, and then we'll have 30 days after that, then it'll go into effect. This is where it's holding a dilemma right now is our Japanese community center fees are tied up in that. So after that 30 days is done, you have all done the public hearing on the Japanese community center fees, so that portion is done, but I will have to take that back to council for final approval. Most likely a consent item, but should any council member want to talk about it, we'll be ready. So if you can, March 5th for that council meeting, we'll get you the confirmation once it's agendized, and hopefully you can be there in case there's, especially our budget committee who helped determine those fees, can be there to support that in case any city council member may have questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, it's time for oral reports of commissioners. Who'd like to start?
Okay. Let's see. This month I've attended a few supervisor for District Santa Maria District 5 kickoff campaigns, if you will. So if you haven't seen them, knock on your door or haven't seen them around, I really highly suggest you get involved to see what they all have to say and how they can represent our part of the county, Santa Maria and Guadalupe. I've also been assisting the Boys and Girls Club with their 60th anniversary. I am on the committee, so that's another nonprofit. I'm also on another nonprofit. It's called the Mexican Ladies Social Club, and it's a nonprofit that helps another nonprofit. They help the Boys and Girls Club a lot. So if you've ever heard of the Black and White Ball, they've raised closer to the net that's going to the Boys and Girls Club is about $15,000, which is really nice. And it was always the support of the community. So that's pretty much what I did this month. So thank you.
Thank you.
For this month, I did go to the campaign kickoff for the county supervisor as well. And I think that was it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramirez. So I went to the Buena Vista Beautifiers meeting, who are gung-ho to do another event. For those of you that don't know, it's a little group that started years ago in order to encourage our oldest park in Santa Maria, Buena Vista Park, to be redone. And they've stayed together and they do great outreach into the community, little carnival things, little sports things. Every year they do with the city's help, they do the Charlie Brown. I don't know if you all got to see the Charlie Brown wooden lit, well, they're not statues, but they're likenesses of Charlie Brown and some other characters, and they're wonderful. A lot of people like to go do their Christmas photos there. Anyway, I did that. I went there. Let's see. Oh, Friends of the Santa Maria Library had their annual luncheon, but the one thing I wanted to mention is, because we forget about this, but there was a woman from the Dune Center that was there that was talking about, we forget the Dune Center is right in our backyard, and some of the things that they do, and it's a nonprofit, but I think that we need to remember that and maybe utilize it, visit it and support it. I just wanted to mention that. The County Master Plan Workshop was January 14th at the Betaravia Center, the Board of Supervisors. And the County Master Plan has been something that's been going on for, 6 years now? But it's still, it's passed, but it's still in negotiations of what's going to actually transpire with our county parks. In our area, Waller Park is the county park. And actually tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, there's going to be a continuation of the master plan workshop. If anyone's interested, it'll be at the Board of Supervisors. Yesterday, I had a Mayor's Youth Task Force meeting here, actually, in the conference room with Mayor Patino and our facilitator, David Rodriguez. And what we do is we planned out the spring trip with the kids. Last time I think we took 40. Last fall we took 40 students, young high school students, to look at colleges and museums. Well, actually, and we went to the state capitol, which was the first time we'd done that in Sacramento. We went north, and in another month and a half, we're going to go south to LA and take them to several colleges and some good museums. The Museum of Tolerance is on the list this year. But that was what I did. But I have a couple things I just want to mention. I've got a little at Jim May Park. There's been somebody that has it's like a remote control. You know how they have the cars? Well, this is like a speedboat, and he's got it in the water. And I'm like gonna tear up just talking about it. So it's a habitat for so many species, bird species. And he's out in there, and the first time I saw it, it was loud. It's loud. And there's no ducks, there's nothing. When he picked the thing up and left, they all came out from everywhere. I mean, we have the pelicans there right now, too. So I actually called the park rangers the second time I saw it, because I kind of was thinking, oh, he's probably doesn't do this, but apparently does it. So I don't know, because when I look at the board, no motorized vehicles are allowed in there, right? Nothing motorized in the lake.
Yeah, we'll follow up looking at the ordinance closely.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it today, and the motorized vehicles really pertains to boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll look to see what other areas that we may be able to do some enforcement. If not, we'll look at the ordinance in general.
Okay, and, it's not quite nesting season yet, but that's coming really soon, so time is of the essence. But that's it. Is there anything else from fellow commissioners? Okay, with that, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.